My name is Alice Marie Johnson. I'm a 62-year-old mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. In less than 2 weeks, this October 31st will mark my 21st year of confinement in a federal prison.
In October of 2017, Mike.com published a video about Alice Marie Johnson, a woman serving a life sentence in federal prison. And according to Mike, it's for the most absurd reason you can imagine. You may have heard that Kim Kardashian West is lobbying the White House to free Alice Marie Johnson, a great-grandmother who was sentenced to life without parole for a first-time nonviolent offense. Nonviolent drug offender? Okay, you're gonna have to explain what that means. I don't know what that means. And she's black. Ugh, if only drugs weren't so racist.
I had been in management for 10 years. When I lost my job, I struggled financially. I couldn't find a job fast enough to take care of my family. I felt like a failure. I went through a complete panic. And out of desperation, I made one of the worst decisions of my life to make some quick money. I became involved in a drug conspiracy.
Oh, so her first-time nonviolent offense was being involved in a drug conspiracy. Now that federal life sentence is starting to make sense.
One of the things I'm most proud of, I write plays.
I thought maybe she would be working with victims and their families, or working with at-risk youth, and telling them not to make the same mistakes that she has. So instead of actually helping people, she writes plays.
And the plays that I write have been viewed by literally thousands of women.
Give her a second chance, folks! She writes plays! Writing and putting on plays in prison isn't an accomplishment, it's a luxury. This Mike.com video gives no more details of Miss Johnson's crimes, because then it wouldn't fit the poor old single black great-grandmother is being screwed by the federal justice system narrative. So I guess it's all up to me then. Alice Marie Johnson is a mother of 5 who struggled financially after she divorced her husband in 1989. In December 1990, due to a gambling addiction, she lost her job at FedEx, where she worked in management. She went into bankruptcy, and her house was foreclosed on. In the midst of all this, she met Curtis McDonald. For 3 years, they were involved in a very lucrative multi-million-dollar drug conspiracy. In 1996, during their trial in U.S. District Court, both Johnson and McDonald were found to have been working with the Cali Colombian drug cartel. The Cali cartel sent Johnson and McDonald numerous deliveries of cocaine from Houston, Texas. Johnson and McDonald then directed the distribution of cocaine in Memphis and controlled the shipment of millions of dollars in drug proceeds back to the Colombians who controlled the source of the cocaine. It's estimated that Johnson and McDonald brought as much as 3,000 kilograms to Memphis. That's more than 3 tons of cocaine. As part of her role in the conspiracy, on June 11, 1991, Johnson bought a brown Mercury Cougar that was modified to have secret compartments to help transport the cocaine and money between Houston and Memphis. Johnson had bought several cars over a 3-year period to be used for the same purpose. Johnson rented an apartment under her daughter's name to house the couriers or mules that traveled back and forth between Memphis and Houston. Johnson had purchased a commercial cleaning company franchise, a business that would help launder drug proceeds. Hotel records established that rooms were rented in the names of various relatives of Johnson. Telephone calls from those rooms were made to phones belonging to Johnson or phones belonging to the Colombians. Throughout the conspiracy, 11,000 telephone calls were made to and from Johnson's telephone. Those calls were between Johnson and Cali cartel representatives or Johnson and couriers. A trial jury found Alice Johnson guilty of the following crimes: conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute cocaine, 3 counts of attempted possession of cocaine with intent to distribute, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and structuring monetary transactions. Along with Curtis McDonald, she was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole.
Please wake up, America, and help end this injustice. It's time to stop over-incarcerating
You conspired to bring literally tons of cocaine into one of the most violent cities in the United States, and you got life in prison. Just because it was your first conviction doesn't mean that you deserve less jail time. If this was remotely an injustice, President Obama surely would have granted clemency to Johnson when he had the chance, right?
I was denied again with no explanation given. So it leaves me wondering what more I could have done.
What more could she have done? Well, instead of claiming that her sentence was an injustice, she would need to completely own up to her crimes and show remorse for the thousands of lives that were affected by the cocaine that she put out in the street. But she won't do that, because then rubes like Kim Kardashian West wouldn't be emotionally manipulated.
How did you get involved with the case of Alice Marie Johnson?
I saw your video, and when I see a story like hers and I go back to maybe, decisions we've all made that probably, maybe not at that caliber, but if you think about a decision that you've made in your life and you get life without the possibility of parole for your first time nonviolent offense, there's just something so wrong with that.
First time nonviolent offense.
With Miss Johnson, it's not one offense, it's offenses plural. Drug transport, drug distribution, money laundering.
I mean, in all honesty, how I felt, I was like where I'm at in my life right now, just like to go and spend my money buying material things just doesn't satisfy me the way that it used to.
So it's a pet project designed to make her feel better because she's jaded by material things.
If I could put the money into a shopping spree, which sounds ridiculous, to save someone's life and do that once a year, then that would make me just my heart fuller.
Wow, how noble. But yeah, Kim, you're right. I'm sure that President Trump has it in his heart to forgive this woman and grant her clemency.
Some of these drug dealers will kill thousands of people during their lifetime. Thousands of people. And destroy many more lives than that.
This guy gets it.
If we don't get tough on the drug dealers, we're wasting our time. Just remember that. We're wasting our time. And that toughness includes the death penalty. Probably you'll have some people that say, oh, that's not nice. But these people are killing our kids and they're killing our families. And we have to do something.
Oh, well. So, should Miss Alice be released, or does she deserve to rot in prison? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.